Hello, this is Jason with Glitch in the System. I am just done with week 1 of Udacity's Grow with Google Challenge. This week I focused on the HTML section, so that was lessons 2, 3, and 4. So lesson 2 is HTML syntax. Let me open this up so you can see what I did. So basically we set up environments, chose text editors. A lot of people in the comments, or not the comments, in the Slack channel were talking about which environment to use. Most people were either using Sublime or Atom. I actually went ahead and am using Visual Studio Code. That's my preferred editor and it's what I'm used to, so feel free to use that also if you want. It wasn't one of the ones they recommended, but it's free and it works well. So that's what I will be doing my demonstrations with, is Visual Studio Code. The HTML section was, the instructor was Cameron. The overview was very good. It's good for people who do not have experience with HTML or a lot of experience with how browsers work. So Cameron went over that information pretty well, so anybody could understand it. The next lesson was, go back. So we did HTML syntax. Lesson 3 was, or unit 3 rather, was the HTML syntax problem set. So this is taking what you learned from the HTML syntax unit and applying it to sample quizzes and exercises. Let me show you one of the things that we did as part of these units. We added a Udacity plugin. So if you look over here, you'll see there's a Udacity little icon here. So this plugin allows you to use the code that they provide you, the starter code, and it will check for errors. So let me actually load a page here. Alright, so you can see the plugin, this is what the plugin does. It checks to see that you've done everything that they asked you to do as part of that quiz or exercise, and it will display the results here. Let me show you what it looks like when you get everything right. So when you get everything right, everything turns green, and usually they'll give you a quiz code here. When you're doing a quiz, it is going to ask you to paste in the code that is provided by the Udacity plugin. So a lot of people on the Slack channel were confused by this, and they thought they were supposed to paste in their actual code, but what you actually had to do was just paste in that code. And then you can see if I submit the answer, then it says, congratulations, you got that answer right. So that's basically what that is. So let me show you a few of the pages or example code that we did. Let me move this up a little bit. That we did as part of these units. So I already showed you the headers, I believe. Let's see, figures. Okay, so go back. So here's headers. We just did basic headers with text in it. Here's figures. This one was a little more complicated, so you just had to display an image and with a caption and a source that was a link. This one you had actually 2 different ways to pass this. So I did option 2. But if you went with option 1, all this would have turned green, and you would have actually had a different code there. Let's see, what else did we do? So here's simple list, just a bulleted list. Let's see, first one we did was just a simple make a button. So this one also confused people a little bit because Right before this, we learned how to make a basic HTML template. And if you pasted your button within that HTML template into the answer, you would get it wrong. All they wanted was the code for the button. So all they wanted was this. But if you tried to paste in all this, then you would have got it wrong. So that confused quite a few people in the Slack channel also. Let's see, what else do I have? Tree. Here's just a tree, element tree. So let me show you here. So that's the code for it. Pretty simple. I think this might be one of the more complicated ones. So this was, you were given a mock-up and you basically had to replicate it. So they gave you all the text content and you had to mark up the code so that it looked like this. This is what the mock-up looked like. And the final project, which they called mock-up to article, is the same thing as what I just showed you, but a little more detailed. So there's more text, more things to do. You had to look up a few things on how to do stuff like how to do a strike through and how to do a superscript. There's a superscript in here somewhere. Can't find it, but trust me, there's a superscript in here somewhere. So you had to learn a few things on how to do that. I'm going to create another video on how I actually did this. So we're going to walk through mocking up or reproducing this page in a different video, and I will link to that at the end here. Alright, but as far as the course goes, I learned a few things. I am familiar with HTML already, so some of it was not new, but I did learn a few things. I learned about the figure element. I learned about, what else did I learn? Oh, I actually wrote it down because that was one of the assignments. Let's see. I learned about Markdown language, so that was interesting. I've never heard of Markdown language before. And that's it. So I'm looking forward to the next set of lessons, which I will tackle by next week. So that looks like it's going to be CSS. So we have syntax, another problem set. Looks like this is an additional course on how to write code faster, and then a project for making animal trading cards, which sounds pretty cool. All right, that's it for this week. Subscribe, like. If you liked it, subscribe and follow along to see me go through this journey to complete this challenge course from Udacity. All right, that's it.